bigcal and welcome to my world. Today is the part 2 of my multi-mega super duper massive pickups video. Obviously I did part 1, probably was released a couple of days ago. I'm not going to post these every week, I'm going to get them out every couple of days hopefully. But just because it's technically the same video, just splitting it up so it's not an hour long. Anyway, let's get back into it with more pickups. So we'll start firstly with a game that I could not play because I do not own the system for it. Likely never will because I'm not that interested. But it's for my wrestling collection. It is a Spectrum game and it is American Tag Team Wrestling. There we go. No idea what it's like. We'll never try it, never play it, but yeah. It's the old disc that comes on the cassettes, which is still really crazy to me that games came on cassettes, but what are you going to do? Yeah, so there's one for the old collection. Put that there. Next, another Switch game I got for nice and cheap, under a tenner. I was interested in this when I first heard about it a few years back. I just never got around to it, and that is Victor Vran, and it is the Overkill edition, which includes content from Motorhead. So Victor Vran, basically it's kind of like a Diablo clone, essentially, but there is almost no story to it at all. But the hack and slash action and the spells and all the different weapons and the customization you can do is fantastic. Had a blast playing through this. And then of course with the Overkill edition there is the Motorhead DLC, where you go into, instead of being like in a fantasy world, you're sort of in a real world during World War II with Germany, except there's also some fantasy shit going on. And Lemmy from Motorhead's about. I was disappointed you don't play as him, he plays Victor Vran still, he just transfers over. But there is an amazing soundtrack from Motorhead while you're playing it, so you're listening to Motorhead rocking out and mauling monsters and Nazis with crazy spells and weapons, including a guitar weapon which is really good. As you strum it, 3 blasts fly out, so it's really cool. So yeah, great Switch game, very happy with this one, although I actually had trouble playing it on the TV, the big screen. I had to play it in handheld because it's almost like you couldn't really see what was going on when it was blown up to a big screen for me. You had to be closer to it, like right in your face with the handheld. But aside from that, tremendous game and a blast with that. Next is a couple of DS games. So firstly we have a game I've been after for a while, but it always goes for stupid prices now because why not? And that is Pokemon Platinum. Yeah, look at that nice shiny case, and of course it came complete in box, and I got these really cheap off a seller on Facebook and a Facebook group. It basically sold me for Sex cash price, basically what Sex would have paid him in cash if he'd have traded it in, which is always incredibly low compared to what they actually sell it for, and for what most people buy it for. So I was very happy to finally grab this. I've got some footage of it, but it will be on an emulator because I can't record DS footage. So yeah, it is actually one of my least favourite gens along with Gen 3, but I never actually played through Platinum because I never owned it. I had Diamond and Pearl when they came out, but I never had the Platinum version, so I'm just happy to add it to my collection because I would like to own all the mainline Pokemon games. And I also have a companion piece for that I actually bought months ago and forgot to include in pickups videos since, but it goes along nicely with this. Just bend down and pick it up. Ooh, the official Pokemon Platinum Strategy Guide. And look at the size of that, it's massive. And I didn't realise it was going to be this thick when I bought it. It only cost me $5, which is dirt cheap for a Pokemon Strategy Guide. And the reason being is because while the first half of it is the basic strategy guide, your walkthrough, it then also includes the Pokédex, which usually for a lot of them they do them separate. So they sell the walkthrough and then the Pokédex editions, so you normally have to pay twice for them, which is a complete rip-off of course. But this one seems to come with both together in one, which is really nice. Massively thick, good condition, like I said, only cost me $5. Can't go wrong with that, because I'd quite like to also own all the strategy guides of the Pokemon games. I've got Soul Silver and Heart Gold. I've got, I think I have one for both Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon, but again I don't own the Pokédex versions of either. But yeah, nice to see that this came with both, so that was a pleasant surprise. Put that mammoth of a book over there. Next, a game I didn't even realise was on the DS, so I just picked it up because it was nice and cheap, and that is Duke Nukem Critical Mass, and it plays like the original Duke Nukem games that a lot of people don't remember, which were side-scrolling shooters. Obviously got more 3D environments now. Sadly this didn't come with a manual, but it was dirt cheap, so I didn't mind, and it's not particularly great. Get some decent action out of it. There are some sort of first-person sections in the game, which was a bit of a nice surprise really, but yeah, it's not as typical Duke Nukem, but it's okay if you can get it dirt cheap, as far as I'm concerned anyway. Next is I actually just ordered a case for Dragon Quest Monsters Caravan Heart. So this did not come out in English, this game. Years ago I got a translated cartridge for it, repro cart with the English translation patch on it. I've had that for years, played through it, really good game. But a website that I use now to get occasional repros and things like that, was selling they sell the game, but they also sell a box for it, custom box. So I thought, you know what, why not? I'll order that, and it'll be nice for the collection to put the game in as well, because I'm a huge fan of Dragon Quest. So they sent me that, great stuff. And then a few days later I got another package. Just wipe off the dust, sorry, and yeah, it basically comes with another what do you call it for it, inlay cover. There we go. Because if you look at the back there, the covers, yeah, the back cover's a bit crappy and dull, and then if you look at it here, much nicer. This is a newer version, so they sent me that one through the post free of charge, so that's very nice. Going to put that in there, and then obviously put the game inside, because I haven't done that yet. Over there. Okay, we've got a much newer game now for the PS4. This is a remake of a rather infamously bad game. Yeah, some of you out there probably heard of Shaku. It was on the SNES, the Game Boy I think, and the Mega Drive, possibly the Game Gear, I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, it was a terrible, terrible fighting game. So what did they do? Many years later they decided to remake it for current systems, and Shaku: A Legend Reborn here on PS4. This was $3.99 brand new, still sealed, I think on base.com or the gamecollection.net, one of the two. I think it's still that price as well. So I got it, picked it up, thought for that price I would give it a try. It's no longer a fighting game, it's a side-scrolling beat-em-up, and it's actually pretty fun. I had a lot of fun with it, so I was quite surprised by it. For £4, I'm very happy with the purchase. It takes the piss out of itself because of its history of being a terrible game, but this one's actually quite competent. So yeah, if you can see it for that price, absolutely pick it up. It's well worth it in my opinion. Slightly older but a little more newer than a lot of stuff. For the PS3 I picked up Ridge Racer 7. Big fan of the Ridge Racer series, very much getting into it as of late, so I decided to get this. Nice and cheap. There we go, all complete, and yeah, it's classic Ridge Racer. It controls absolutely fantastically, although now it looks even better on the PS3, so yeah, very good for a racing game if you're not looking for a simulation style like Gran Turismo or Forza, which I'm just terrible at. Another PlayStation game, one I've been after for a while, just out of curiosity really, because I'm a big fan of Super Smash Bros, so I thought PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. So I decided to grab this. Yeah, it's okay-ish. It just, once you played Smash Brothers and then you play this, the controls just feel much slower and less responsive, and it just doesn't feel the same. As far as the roster goes, it's kind of lacking as well there. But you've got some okay characters. You've got Kratos from God of War, Ratchet and Clank's in there, Sly Cooper, Sackboy. You know, but then there's some that's just like, why are some of these characters in here? Who even are they? You know, so it's okay. It's a very mediocre Smash clone, not Slash. Speaking of mediocre Smash clones, we have Cartoon Network Punch Time Explosion. This is the Wii version. It's the XL version, which was released on next gen consoles because the original was on PS2. Yeah. Cartoon Network characters, although I don't know who most of them are, so I think it's from a bit later in Cartoon Network rather than what I'm used to. We got, you know, Johnny Bravo, Ben 10. I know of Ben 10, I don't know what it is. Powerpuff Girls, they were a thing when I was a kid but I never watched it. Samurai Jack, yep, that's cool. Chowder, Flapjack, codename Kids Next Door. Again, I know of it, don't know what it is. Bill and Mandy, not entirely sure what that is either. Yeah, but again, it's just a very mediocre Smash clone, but interesting to own, and it was cheap, so yeah, why not? Okay, now we have a game that I could have sworn I'd already shown on a pickups video, but apparently I haven't. It's for the PlayStation 2, and remember Resident Evil back in the day, really good. And then on the PS1, and then later on the PS2 they did some sequels. They released like first-person shooter slash on rails games based on the series. And we got Resident Evil Survivor first, which gets crapped on all over the internet. But as a kid, I remember renting it and absolutely loving it. And I didn't even have a gun, I was using the controller. It was fine, you know, different pathways for the story and that. I always had a blast with it. But yeah. And then I found out that they did the same thing on the PS2 with Dino Crisis. Yeah, and we got Dino Stalker, and it's batshit crazy. So there's something about dinosaurs are back, but we have to send them to the future so they don't destroy humans' ecosystem. But then we also, when we fixed something that's broken in the current time, we then go to the future and bring the dinosaurs back. I don't understand the story whatsoever. All I know is that randomly it goes back in time again to World War II. There's a pilot who's about to crash, and he gets sent forward back. He gets sent through time. I don't know where he is, what time he's in, but he gets sent through time, lands on an island, has a modern gun, and ends up having to go around shooting dinosaurs. Yeah, I don't understand the story, but it's actually really fun. I had a blast with it, and again I'm only playing with the controller because while I do have a gun, I don't have an old TV to use it with. So yeah, but it's really interesting, and I had no idea they'd done one based on Dino Crisis. So that was a really cool find. And lastly, new little Xbox game. Got this nice and cheap. It was in sort of like a 3 for a $5 deal. I think that's where the Cartoon Network Smash Brothers clone came from as well. And it is Tetris Worlds. I was just curious because Tetris, fun game. Let's see what they're doing with Tetris Worlds. And yeah, it's Tetris. Although it's, you know, you've got 3D Tetris-y pieces. Yeah, apart from that, it's just kind of Tetris on the Xbox. Also on PS2 and GameCube, I think. Tetris! Ooh, so that ends yet another pickups video, the second part of this massive multi-part pickups thingy. So, as usual, let me know down in the comments below what you thought of my pickups. Let me know if there's anything you think I should pick up based on what I've already bought. And I'll see you again in a couple of days, hopefully, for part 3.